Being a 17-year bartender, this was the first time that all of the bars in DC were closed. And I thought this was going to be the year that I became the best bartender in the world. So how do I separate myself from every other bartender instead of doing what every other bartender wouldn't do? And that's go around the world and try to find out where I can continue to further my skills. It was a separation thing. I think like bartending, the old fashioned was made in 1881. So I was looking at the craft cocktail world, the bar world, and was looking at, well, how am I going to add my own unique touch to it? And in the space where all the bars and restaurants was closed, Korea was the first country that was allowing US travelers. So it came on CNN that US was welcoming US travelers with a 2-week mandatory government mandated quarantine. I called my best friend, who was also Korean. She was in Colombia at the time, who was also Korean. She was in Colombia at the time. And she said, I would really love to go see my grandmother during this time. So she bought a ticket to Korea from Colombia. She arrived about 2 weeks before I did. And I went down shortly after. For me, I've always enjoyed owning a room. So when it comes to like the entrance and exit etiquette, I'm not a small person. I don't have a soft voice. I have an appreciation for color and light. So I usually walk into a room and I take a lot of the energy out of the room with my presence in most spaces. Korea was the only place where I would enter a room and I would feel that everyone was equally as confident as I was. You would see the trash men in Korea doing their job with excellence and efficiency. There would be Korean restaurants right next door to each other that serve the same quality and caliber of food, and they're both busy, they're both packed, they're both full because excellence and efficiency. It's not one thing to do something just to do it, but why not just do it well? And the culture is so confident that if I were to open up a Korean restaurant next door to your Korean restaurant and the food wasn't that good, you would come over and tell me about it because our restaurants are so close together that we couldn't run the risk of you producing a product that's not up to the same standard of quality as the product that we're producing as an entity. And bringing that information and that experience back to DC, there are so many people that want to create. There's so many people that want to cook. There's so many people that want to take pictures. There's so many people that want to DJ. They want to rap. They want to sing. And I do believe that art is for everyone. But we're entering a space now where if you're not going to do it the best that it could possibly be done, then you should actually consider doing something else. Because COVID stopped all of that, the space where we do something to satisfy other people, or the space where we do something because someone else thinks this might be best for us. And going forward, if it's not the best, I don't want it. If it's lukewarm, I'll spit it from my mouth. Either it can be hot or cold. I honestly do not know. The most compelling thing, while I was in quarantine in Korea, I watched The Last Dance documentary about Michael Jordan. And if you noticed, on the 10th episode, they said that Michael Jordan's best quality isn't how high he could jump, how well he can shoot, pass, dunk the ball. They said his best quality is how present he is. Every single time you have a conversation with Michael Jordan, he's able to dig into a mental registry about the last conversation that you had, say something about you to let you know that he's invested in the conversation, and he never plans on missing his mark. So I took that as a space to where I've done a lot of the hard work to be a good person. I've done a lot of the hard work to heal from some of the emotional scars I've suffered as a child, as an adult, even over the past 5 years. And the thing that I'm left with, this resounding confidence in myself that I'm smart, talented, attractive. There's very little that I can't do if I put the requisite work behind it. And as opposed to me putting that much level of intention and energy behind someone else's business, someone else's brand, why not believe in 100% in the brand of myself? No one's going to believe in me more than I will, and I don't think anyone has the faith in my abilities as much as I do. And once I stopped comparing myself, I realized that no one can do what I do. So the only way that I'm going to be able to get to exactly where I want to be is to cut off all of the distractions, block out all of the noise, and ask myself in the mirror every day, do I want to do everything or nothing?